Welcome to our podcast, Exploring Life's Luxuries of Food, Bourbon, and Premium Cigars. I'm Mel.
And I'm Kevin. We're coming here tonight to discuss the art of unplugging. We're really excited to be here with you tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think this is a really relevant topic, in including it with a cigar, potentially, if you are smoking a cigar today. And I apologize if you are getting any feedback on the weather. It is super rainy and there's a little bit of thunder and lightning rolling in. We almost thought about canceling today, but we were like, no, we're going to keep going, and we will tie it in with our theme of unplugging and relaxing. So I'm super excited to be doing this topic today.
Yeah, and this is a topic that no matter what season of life you're in is so relatable. It is something that we all need to do to understand how to unplug. And so we're really going to be talking here a little bit about the art of unplugging. But before we get any further, Mel, why don't you tell us a little bit about the cigar that we're smoking today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to be smoking the 3-Leaf Connecticut. This has got a Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper, a Dominican binder, and the Nicaraguan and Dominican fillers. So I'm super excited to have this cold draw, just have the cigar with our podcast today.
Absolutely. The cold draw is amazing. A light hay, very, very mild. There's some sweetness to it, but it's very, very pleasant at this point.
Mm-hmm. I am really enjoying that. Hay is very forward facing for me, so I'm really enjoying that.
I love a cigar with an earthiness is when you're doing the cold draw and there's that light hay, especially in a Connecticut, because to me a Connecticut can either be a little bitter or on the sweet side when you're getting that hay. It's almost sometimes a little bit of that earthy leather, but this is more of that sweet hay that's very enjoyable. I'm excited to see if that shows up on the light once we get this cigar lit. So we're going to go ahead and get this cigar lit. Mel, why don't you go ahead and light yours? In the meantime, I'm going to introduce you to our guest tonight. We're very excited to have Brad Frazier here with us tonight. Brad is our broker here in Texas for 3-Leaf, and asked him earlier today, actually, if he wanted to jump on and talk a little bit about 3-Leaf. So we're excited to be smoking the cigar with you tonight. Brad, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, Kevin and Mel. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about 3-Leaf, just a hair. Yeah, it's a great cigar you're smoking. I'm going to light. Tell us a little bit about it. We're not looking for the long history or intimate details. Just give us your best 30 to 1 minute overview of 3-Leaf.
3-Leaf is a new and up-and-coming company out of New Hampshire, owned by Eric Wentworth and Jim Ferreira. I got in touch with them from their Northeast rep, former rep, Brian Sonia. Really great guys to deal with. I've yet to meet them in person, but over the phone, we really kicked it off, and they're kind of letting me run with it in Texas and see if I can grab some accounts here and help them build their brand.
That's awesome. We've really enjoyed having 3-Leaf in our humidor and smoke them on the regular. Both this Connecticut as well as the Habano is an absolute exceptional cigar. And, you know, it's rare that I find a cigar in the Toro that I enjoy more than the Robusto. And I would say the 3-Leaf in this kind of almost Corona Churchill size over the Robusto is so much more enjoyable to me. But definitely in the Habano and the Connecticut. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. Oh, go ahead, Brad.
I definitely agree. I feel the length gives it a little bit more time to develop. And definitely the blend suits itself well to this ring gauge. Get a lot more wrapper flavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
And one thing I really like about this cigar actually is their band. It's kind of got that holographic shininess to it. I feel like trying to take a picture of it, you never get justice with the bands until you are actually looking at it full on, because it's got that shiny kind of holographicness to it.
Yeah, and an interesting fact about their band is both Eric and Jim have daughters, and from what they tell me is their daughters were very inspirational with developing the artwork of the band.
Yeah, it's awesome. They have a new cigar coming out here soon that I understand the entire band was designed by their daughters. I'm excited to hear more about that at some point.
So I have yet to smoke any of those, but I believe it's going to be a San Andreas Maduro wrapper on their up and coming release.
Okay, that's awesome. So, Brad, you've been in the cigar business for a long time. Tell us about your journey in this world and how it's kind of led you to where you are today.
Oh, okay. So I come from retail. In 2009, I was fortunate enough to walk into a newly opened shop called Mike's Cigar Room in Conroe, Texas, and he hired me within a couple months, and within 2 or 3 months I was full time, and within 2 years I was buying into the business, and we had a very good partnership for 9 years. And then I decided it was time to see if I could go out and do it on my own, and went out and bought a freestanding building and created Backyard Cigars,
Okay.
which I operated for just under 3 years before choosing to get out of the retail side of premium cigars.
Awesome. And now I know you're being a rep for Three Leaf, but also there's a few other companies. You want to tell us about those?
Yeah, Three Leaf is one of my companies I'm repping for Texas market. I'm also helping out Brandon Marsh and Jess Coleman with Big Sky Cigar Company. I've recently acquired Notorious Cigar. That's Conor McGregor's new cigar for the Texas market. I'm also helping out with Family by Loyalty.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I've smoked almost every cigar that you just talked about other than Notorious, but Big Sky, absolutely love their cigars. Bitterroot and Yellowstone are two of my favorite. The El Professor is probably my absolute favorite, but I know that's a little hard to get right now. But in our lounge and guys that we smoke, the Blackfoot is just absolutely on demand, along with the new Mad Minnows.
Yeah, that Blackfoot has got about 3 years of age on it since it was first rolled by Chico Rivas. That cigar is killing it for us in the Texas market right now, and it's just an excellent creamy smoke.
It is. And then Family by Loyalty, Mel, we're having at Cigar Fest, where we're going to be participating with Story Cigars and Lounge here in just a few weeks. Brad's going to be there. Big Sky, but we're also going to have Family by Loyalty there. We were working with the rep before Brad took over the Texas market, so I don't know how that'll shake out in the end. But they're coming from Georgia to come and hang out with us, and it's going to be a great time. I know they've redone their blends recently, and the new Frecky, the box press, man, that cigar smokes really, really well, Mel.
It does, yeah. It's great. It's a great cigar, and I'm super excited for the Cigar Fest. It's going to be a great, great day. Just going to have a lot of hanging out and getting to chat with all sorts of different people and have opportunity to get some great cigars, listen to some music, have some food. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. So we're
looking forward to it.
Yeah, we're excited to have you. Just checking in on the cigar real quick. We have a few more things to talk about, but what are y'all's thoughts so far just a couple of inches into this cigar, Mel? It's just like a great waiter. I asked her at the right time. You know, she was taking a draw.
It's really good. It's real mild to me. That hay is still there, kind of on the finish, but it's not overpowering like it was on the cold draw for me.
Yeah,
personally.
Yeah, I agree. Any thoughts from you, Brad?
Yeah, I'm a little bit deeper in. I'm almost to the midway point. So I enjoy. I'm getting a lot of charred wood mixed with a little bit of the spice. Definitely, it's a cigar a flavor first cigar, clean finish. It's a cigar very approachable for people making transitions from the flavor infused arena into the all natural. Good starter cigar, but these are the type of cigars that you can light up one right after the other without killing your palate.
Yeah, absolutely. I love going from the Connecticut to the Habano, and I feel like you have this flavorful experience with the Connecticut, and then it's almost amped up 3 or 4 times going to the Habano, in flavor, but not strength. That strength is still in that mild to medium, maybe edging toward medium as you get into the last third of that Habano. But yeah, I really do enjoy smoking these cigars, and what a great ash.
Every one I smoke is almost razor point. The ash holds. I mean, it just the construction on them is very, very consistent.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't like it, but I call it the mascara line or the burn line. But this one's definitely got a great one. It's not razor thin on mine, but again, we're sitting outside. It's raining pretty actively and thundering in the background. Humidity level's pretty high. I know you're outside tonight as well, just because of the last minute invite to have you on.
Yeah.
You know, but for a cigar to burn this evenly in the middle of a rainstorm is honestly a pretty impeccable construction. You know, you're still getting this real thin combustion line, the carbon line, some guys will call it. Just super impressed. Always enjoy smoking a 3-leaf cigar. Such a pleasure doing that.
Yeah, I agree. For this topic today, I wanted a cigar that would be really easy to smoke and just go with what we are trying to talk about today. So yeah, I think this is a great pairing for our podcast today.
Yeah, and so I'm going to jump in real quick before we move on. We're going to be giving away tonight a 5-pack of 3-leaf cigars. We're going to do 3 Connecticut and 2 Habano. So if you're watching, go ahead and put your name in the comments. If for some reason you're picking this up later in the week, why don't you go ahead and comment replay fam if you'll put in your tagline there. And then next week on our podcast, we're going to announce the winner, and we'll do that next week and get that sent out to you. So again, just go into the comments, go ahead and put your name, and we'll choose a winner here in a little bit.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. For our pairing today, so we like to pair different drinks with our cigars on the podcast just to just fun. It's fun to have a good pairing. A lot of people that I have talked to, when they talk about pairings with cigars, there are so many things they're like, oh, I didn't know that you could pair that with that. Like coffee or something like that. Like, oh, I've never tried pairing a cigar with coffee. And then they try it and they're like, now I do it every morning. And so we love pairing different drinks. And so along with the unplugging and relaxing, refocusing, we are actually pairing some kind of herbal tea today with our cigars. So it's pairing really well, actually. So I'm enjoying it. I don't know if you've tried them together or not yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been taking sips of mine. It's excellent. I'm sorry, I was responding to a message quick that we just got. But yeah, absolutely. The tea is very herbal, very mellow. It's almost got hints of kind of a woodiness to it. This is a 7 mineral tea that I've been drinking in the afternoons. And it's the perfect compatible drink with this Connecticut. Another really great thing, if you don't enjoy a good tea, is diet or zero sugar root beer goes really, really well with this Connecticut on the 3-leaf, as well as a cup of coffee. I can't tell you how many times I've had a great coffee with this cigar. And of course, Mel always says, if you love a good bourbon, go ahead and just put a little bit in your tea if you can't start without bourbon. But when it comes to unplugging, there's nothing like grabbing a warm drink, a cigar on a rainy day and sitting on the deck and just listening to the rain and enjoying your cigar. There's an ease about just allowing life to melt away and allowing the enjoyment of this cigar and your beverage take over.
Yeah. And I know Kevin and I are having hot tea. Brad, you're having an iced tea, correct?
Yeah, I'm just pairing tonight just an unsweet iced tea. I feel like I don't want anything personally. I don't want anything that's going to overpower the flavors of this cigar. So I kind of keep it simple, especially when I'm looking to name or describe flavors. Typically, my best pairing is water. But definitely, I feel personally that pairings can be very subjective. So I definitely have what I like, and I tell people there's certain cigars I like with certain drinks, but I'm not one of those people that can tell you that you're doing something wrong with your pairings because it's subjective. Absolutely. Everybody likes different things.
It so ties into your palate. I feel like, everybody's palate is different.
Absolutely.
And So with that, so I used to drink a lot of tea. So I used to drink a cup of tea every day at 3 o'clock, and it kind of would help me. I would get a little bit of a break in the day at that point. Back when I was in the office from 9 to 5, that would be my 3 o'clock would be my break time tea.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of years, I've kind of fallen away from having tea, but now I've moved on to more of I'll go have a cigar if I want to have a break or a little bit of an unplug in the middle of the day. But having this tea here, and maybe it's just all the things. It's the rain, it's the cigar, it's the tea. It's all just working for me. So
Yeah, absolutely. And so for me, I can drink caffeine and I can have a cup of coffee. Matter of fact, I did the other night. I had 2 cups of coffee at 11 o'clock and went straight to sleep, and I'm fine. And so caffeine doesn't bother me in the evening, but this particular herbal tea is uncaffeinated. That wasn't why I purchased it. It's more around some of the health benefits and trying to get some of the minerals. But definitely one of those things that tea can have this calming anti-anxiety benefit and really help you unplug, very similar to a cigar. Brad, I like what you said about not allowing it to overpower and kind of take over the cigar, especially when you're smoking a Connecticut cigar. It's really easy to overpower it with a strong bourbon or a scotch. Or I was in a lounge the other day and a guy was drinking an espresso martini and having a Connecticut. Matter of fact, he was having 3-leaf. And I was just kind of shaking my head because that's just such a weird, strong connection to me. He was enjoying it, and that's really the key, right? If you're enjoying it, it's a great beverage or a great pairing for you. But for me, I want to drink something that's going to complement this cigar instead of contradict it.
Absolutely.
And so,
and I cannot have caffeine all day. So I used to be able to, but about 5 years ago, if I have it after about 3 o'clock, it keeps me up throughout the night, all night. So this being decaf was great for me.
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know about you, Brad, if you can have caffeine all day long or not, but
Yeah, as I get up here in my mid 40s, I find that I'm kind of more on Kevin's side. Caffeine tends to affect me less and less in the evening. So there'll be times when I'm having a nice cup of black coffee at 10 or 10:30 at night.
Yeah, especially on a night like this where the rain's coming down and it's cool out.
Oh yeah, the temperatures here just drop below 70, which is unheard of in North Houston in May.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just a couple of hours north of you. As you know, you've been to our place several times. We're just floating just above 60 right now. And so it's perfect weather for a hot tea and a cigar or a cup of coffee.
And a sweater.
Yeah.
I thought I was done with sweaters. And today it's like, nope, just kidding.
Hey, we'll take cool weather as deep in the summer as we can get here in Texas, right, Brad?
Absolutely. Yeah, so I find that the way I like to get unplugged, kind of get away from thinking about cigars or selling cigars or listening to cigar podcasts is my late grandfather was a David Balducci fan. So I like to, start up Audible, listen to a David Balducci novel while I smoke in the evenings. That helps me to calm down and just relax and focus on the flavors and kind of get lost for an hour or two before bedtime.
Yeah, that's a great point. So for me, one of the things I love to do to relax and really kind of allow the day melt away is I'm an Audible listener. For years, I read about 100 books a year. I'd read 25 nonfiction and 75 fiction books, and not large books, just smaller stuff, just to keep my mind integrated. And still every morning I have a cup of coffee and a cigar and read scripture or a leadership book every morning. But putting on Audible to one of my favorite authors, I got 4 or 5 that I love to listen to. And I like to listen to series so that character moves from book to book. So I feel like I just melt back into their life.
Yes.
Like we were on a short break. I was in Texas, they were wherever they live, and now we're back together, and I'm kind of watching them go. Had a very stressful day today. Actually got done with the meeting, was sitting in my office, so I couldn't have a cigar at that exact point. But I actually turned on the Audible book I'm currently listening to, put my feet on the desk, and just sat there for 10 minutes with my eyes closed and just like, okay, let this wash away. got out and got in my car, and was able to light a cigar and head home. But it was one of those things that for that 10 minutes, I just needed a reprieve. And so I love that you brought that up because I'm very similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I enjoy listening to music or playing video game or something like that. But usually if I just need to like kind of shut my mind down and just refocus in or take a break, unplug from everything, I'll listen to something because it's so easy now that you can listen to music really anywhere you are. So I think that's awesome that everyone has their own ways of unplugging or, you know, taking care of your mental health. I think unplugging is really important to that. And
Absolutely.
I know I can speak for myself, probably both of us, maybe all three of us, but we are not in a season where it is easy to unplug. I don't know if that is the same for you, Brad, but for us, I feel like we have to make the effort to unplug. Like Kevin said, today was not that day. So I'm kind of using this time, you know, we're on the podcast, I'm having my tea and my cigar. I'm like, this is my unplugged time for the day.
Absolutely. And, you know, in a season where 10-hour days are normal, Brad, you're on the road, goes to shops and events. Those are long days.
Yes.
Trying to figure out things out. And you're probably coming back and arriving in Houston to kids' soccer practice or softball or whatever it is they're into this season.
Yeah.
It creates things, you know, is there a season or a way that you say, hey, I'm going to unplug for a day or two? Is that ever an option for you at this stage in life?
You know, whenever I get the chance to get a fishing pole in my hand, now it's far in between, but definitely, I love to fish. May have an opportunity here coming up in the beginning of June to get out and do some more saltwater fishing with a good buddy of mine. But fishing, getting back to nature. Here in the Woodlands, we have walking trails that essentially go through the woods, connecting the neighborhoods. We have community ponds with pavilions. So definitely putting myself in nature, just listening to the birds flying in and getting bird seed. We've got a big family of cardinals. They have 2 babies that have been coming in, and the hummingbirds have been pretty active these last couple of weeks. So that's one another area is nature really helps me stay grounded.
No, I love that. Mel and I love going on cruises. And we're able to go on a short cruise just last month. Although we were in the Dominican before and after and in Miami after doing cigar blending. And so really we worked every day because we were enjoying the cruise, but we were kind of working because we were getting ready for being at the factory, in the farm. And then we were working on blends. And then we left, we were reviewing blends and then we were in Miami for a few days. And so that wasn't the best trip, but normally I love a great cruise to just watch the ocean and smoke a cigar. That's getting nature. I used to do a lot of hunting and fishing. That's just not me anymore. But getting on a boat where we're a few hundred miles away from civilization, I need one soon.
Yeah. We actually used to golf a lot as well. But I feel like, again, with the season we're in, you have to devote so much time to it. And it can be hard for me to keep that schedule. Yeah. So
it's been difficult. Well, then also, Brad, you may not know, we may not have met you yet, but I had shoulder surgery in February of 24.
Yeah.
That's where I couldn't move my right arm at all. And so golfing had to take a back seat. And so I swung a golf club about 5 days ago for the first time in 2 years. And took my kids to Top Golf and did a little bit of hitting, which is different, but it's at least a little bit. And so.
Yep. And also anyone viewing, go ahead, drop in the comments, either on the replay or live, what you do to unplug and what kind of things you like to do that helps you. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break.
We fell in love with cigars not because of the flavors or smoking experience or perceived status, but because it allows barriers to fall between other humans and build deeper connections. For that reason, we've been super intentional to curate a space where people can find community and enjoyment with others, and cigars just happen to be the way we're doing it. For that reason, we are thrilled to be the one and only cigar retail store and lounge in downtown Lufkin. A good story is one of the most powerful tools used to connect with another human. Sharing stories fades out differences and highlights similarities found in the details, or with the storyteller. Over the years, we have seen some of the best stories told over cigars, and thus, new friendships are made, passions shared, encouragement given, and so much more. The impact storytelling has on the human connection is why we've decided to name our store and lounge Stories. Because behind every good cigar and conversation is an even better story.
Source Elevate is a consulting firm that focuses on providing resources, insight, and experience to elevate your performances. Our team's 30-plus years of experiences in executive leadership positions provide the foundation of knowledge that we provide to our clients. Allow us to elevate your company's mission, vision, and objectives over short, mid, and long-term initiatives that drive results and source new opportunities.
As always, a huge thank you to our sponsors. And before we kind of jump back into our topic, let's go ahead and how's the cigar going for everybody? I don't know if anyone can see my ashes. I'm getting ready to ash it, but it's still holding on pretty good. I think I could keep it a little longer.
A beautiful ash. I mean, I know Brad was talking about that earlier. Look how well that's holding ash. But
yeah.
I ash mine a little bit because I'm famous for wearing ash because I like to see how long I can get it to stay on there.
Yeah.
But mine is just super white, just a little bit of darkness right at the tip, but otherwise it is very, very white. What I really appreciate about this cigar, Mel, Brad mentioned earlier, there's this light spice, this flavor forward. I would have never called it a charred wood, but I definitely love that. There's a cedar and almost more of an oakiness that I get from a bourbon on this. But what I love about this cigar, and I talked about loving it in this Churchill format, is there's not a lot of transition, but it's not a cigar that you're going to get bored with. Sometimes I'm smoking a Churchill, and if there's not a lot of transitions, I get bored with it, halfway through. This cigar paired with a tea, as we've talked about, or a root beer, provides a great complementary pairing. And almost after every drink of the tea, I find a little bit different flavor nuance. It's either a little stronger or a little milder, but it doesn't change. It's just enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just what is the word? Consistent, stable.
Yeah. And predictable is not always the best term for a cigar, but except for when it's great.
Yes.
Yeah.
A great cigar that's predictable is a great term. Brad, what are you thinking?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit deeper in. I'm kind of into my last third here, and I'm picking up some more of the sweet hay and the floral notes have kind of reappeared. I'm always amazed at how the ratio of Lajero and fillers. I feel like they really nailed the blend as far as combustion goes. I've never had one tunnel or canoe on me. They just always burn so well. And I almost don't even think about it, but as I analyze it tonight with you guys, it's the cigars just smoke so well. The construction is top notch. It's easy to stack the ash on. Clean finishes for me, but definitely a cigar that I'm always anticipating the next puff, even though it's not a super powerful cigar or a strong spicy stick. I'm always anticipating that next puff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so kind of talking about unplugging and our cigars, we've talked a little bit about what we like to do to unplug. So cigars, I don't know, for the first question is, do you use cigars to help you unplug, get away from it all? And if you don't, I would recommend you try it. But if you do, cigars actually release the nicotine slower than other forms, like cigarettes or anything like that, which is why they have done studies that a cigar can actually help relax you because it's just it is a long game. It's not a quick, unless you only have 15 minutes and you have to. If I have a cigar I know it's going to last me an hour, I love that. So for both of you guys, do you use cigars to help you unplug? I know you mentioned with music, but how often do you notice a difference if it is built into your routine and you don't do it? in terms of just, do you feel like you still get that break through the day, or?
For sure. I find this is my 27th year smoking premium cigars, and I find that it's more important in my lifestyle than ever to take time for myself and enjoy a premium handmade cigar. Not just for the benefits I feel that you get from the nicotine and the flavor, but kind of forces me to sit down, slow down, and kind of, as we talked about before, enjoy some of our more rested hobbies, listening to ebooks, reading, music. Definitely can see how that helps relax.
Absolutely. And so for me, it's a two-folded answer. I had somebody tell me a few years ago that if you want to ruin your passion and enthusiasm for cigars, get into the business. And, we owned a brand, a factory and farm, and then also our partners in the cigar shop with a few other guys. And so there's definitely times when I'm smoking a new cigar that I'm consistently going, is this something somebody in our shop would enjoy, would they buy? And then when I'm smoking cigars that we're blending, I'm paying attention to the nuances. But one of the reasons Mel, and she's who chose 3-leaf for tonight in this particular Connecticut, was this is a cigar that I can grab and I'm not thinking about those. We already sell them in the shop. I've already smoked at least a box of them. It's something that's easy for me to grab. So after the end of a stressful day, I may be smoking cigars while I'm working throughout the day, or blending cigars. We may smoke 17 or 18 cigars, obviously just portions of them as we're blending. But like tonight, after the podcast a little bit, when this is done, I'll probably go grab a cigar that I know I love. I'll come out here, turn the lights off, and just listen to the rain. And that's where a premium cigar allows me to just be. I think the health benefits that we're seeing in the studies the FDA has done around premium cigars, I don't think it's the cigar. I think that as a culture, we have forgotten how to rest. We have forgotten how to be. And you cannot truly enjoy a premium cigar without just stopping, pausing, and spending a little bit of time focused on the craftsmanship that from the seed to here has been amazing. 300 hands or more have touched this to get here, multiple business transactions. But at the end of the day, I get to light this, kick back, and just be.
That's a great summary kind of that. So you prefer then, if you are having a cigar to unplug, to relax, you prefer it to be something easy, something you're not going to have to think about, or do you look for something even maybe on strength? Do you look for something more mild? Do you look for something?
So it's a great question. So for me, if I'm wanting to relax and just unplug and just be, the strength isn't as important to me as it's a cigar I've smoked 5, 6, 7, 8 times. I'll grab something from our line because I can light it up, and as long as it lights and the draws well, I'm done thinking about it for that time. I've got to separate the business Kevin from the resting Kevin. It can be difficult at times. And so a lot of times what I'll do is we talked about the El Professor earlier. El Professor is a cigar I'll grab, the bitter root. I'm trying to think of some of those. The My Father Connecticut, not to push somebody other than 3-leaf, but it's another cigar that's just super mild. It's there. It's easy to smoke. Another cigar that I think is, and again, this is the other spectrum. This is a way more full-bodied cigar. Plasencia 149 or 151 with a bourbon. At the end of the day, I don't have to think about it. That strength almost outpowers the flavor for me in that cigar. So at that point, it's really just about enjoying the draw and the smoke and the release. And so that's really where I'm at is I don't want to have to put a lot of effort into it. The funniest thing that happens to me is somebody walks up and goes, "Hey, what are you picking up on that cigar?" I'm just in a lounge, just trying to be. I'm not thinking about it. And they always get freaked out when I don't know the answer. But But then we
Yeah.
go to the factory and they blind test us on 9 different leaves, and we pick out every one of those leaves as we're smoking. It's not that I can't pick it out, it's that I'm not in that mode. Does that make sense? I don't know if Brad, if you or Mel, if you go that way or not.
Brad can answer first. And there's a, like he had said, if there's a strength, and it's going to be kind of like your palate. It's going to be relative to you. But there's no wrong answer to if you do or you don't, or if you have the same cigar every morning. So yeah, Brad, I'd love to know your thoughts on that.
Yeah, definitely. So I kind of similar to Kevin in that if I'm smoking a cigar to learn the flavors so that I can describe them to potential clients or consumers of the cigar, I get pretty analytical. I only pair it with water. It's a fresh palate. I have a notepad. I break down the thirds. I'm constantly thinking of the flavor wheel and all the different notes that are possible in a cigar. But definitely, and I like to do that for at least 3 cigars before I formulate, hey, this is the cigar I'm going to put in my regular rotation. Or not. But definitely the number one question I get asked is when I'm selling cigars at events is like, what's your favorite? What's your favorite? Well, I always find it hard to answer that question because for me, it's very determinant of what I'm feeling in that moment. So what I've eaten that day, what I've drank in that day, my stress levels. Do I want that pepper bomb that high nicotine concentration that's just gonna blow my palate up? Or do I want a cigar like Three Leaf where it's a flavor forward cigar and it's finesse flavor and it's something I'm just gonna enjoy truly just for the flavor of the cigar. But that's kind of my 2 tails.
Yeah, absolutely. Mel, what about you?
So I just have a range of stuff I know. And people will ask me, what's your favorite cigar? And I'm the same. I can never really just pick one. So I try to limit it to maybe a top 5 to a top 7, and that can change as the months go by. But within those top 5 to 7 is normally what I will grab if I want something that I just don't have to think about. It can help me, just kind of refresh from the day. I'm also curious to know, so when you talk about unplugging, some people might think it's scrolling on your phone. Some people might think it's, watching a movie or being on your laptop. When you guys define unplugging for you, what would you say that is? I know what my definition is, but again, I think this is going to be something that's a little bit more subjective.
Yeah, I'll jump first and let Brad follow. But if I'm truly unplugging, it's no electronics. Maybe it's Audible playing in my earbuds, but it really is no electronics, not scrolling. I do love movies, and movies help relax me. The problem is movies trigger thoughts, and then my brain races. It's still relaxing, but it's racing a little bit. A really crazy thing, and I heard this happen at a business meeting 7 years ago. We did a study between the Sound of Silence original versus the Sound of Silence by Disturbed. And I don't know why that Disturbed version speaks to me. And so if I'm having a really difficult time to unplug, putting that on repeat in some headphones and just closing my eyes. But if my laptop's near or my phone's going off, I can't unplug. I've got to turn things off because there's too many work things coming across or catching my eye.
Yeah, there's definitely something to shutting the phone off or leaving it behind, taking a walk with just you and the cigar. I find the benefits of not having any other distraction, not having any other flavor notes in your drink. That's, again, I go back to the water is the best pairing for me to enjoy a premium cigar because I'm all about enjoying all the flavor I can get from the tobacco. While pairings have their place, and definitely I'm a big Scotch guy. I like to pair scotches with cigars, especially in the evenings. But truly just appreciating the the tobacco for what it is, knowing all the labor that went into producing that tobacco and all the intermediary steps that go into producing this truly handmade artisan product is definitely something I appreciate when I unplug.
Yeah. So if any of our viewers are viewing live right now, or as Mel said earlier, in the replay fam, put in the comments, what do you do to unplug? Maybe there's something we need to learn and try. And on that note, we have a little bit of homework for you guys this coming week. We'd love if you would try to set aside some time to unplug. Maybe try something different than you normally do and just take 15 minutes, a half hour, an hour, and try and unplug. Maybe that's listening to a book. Maybe that's watching a movie, listening to some music. As Brad said, taking a walk. It's going to be beautiful weather here in Texas and hopefully around the rest of the country the next few days. Maybe go throw a line in the water and just spend some time with nature. Whatever it is, we would love for you to go do that and try that. And then on one of our either petite casts next week or when we go live in 2 weeks, you can maybe comment and let us know what it was like to unplug. But we want to give you that homework. We want this to be an opportunity for you to say, I'm going to take at least one moment over the next few days and truly unplug in a unique and new way. We're going to try it. I'm going to try doing a walk with just my cigar. We live on a golf course, so it'll be easy for me just to step out after it's closed and go for a walk with my cigar. It's a great idea. I've not done that, but that is on my agenda for the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I think that's great. Mine will be to just I found I'm like, oh, I unplugged today, but I really, if I have my phone with me, I really didn't, because for me, it is just too easy to get sucked into work, where even sometimes my watch will buzz and I'll be like, oh, what's going on? And then it's like, oh, I got to grab my phone. Or so that's for me is a challenge, though, because I also run into like, what if there's an emergency? What if, something happens while I'm taking my 10 minutes? And most likely it will still be an emergency if I take those 10 minutes. It'll still be an emergency when I'm done.
Absolutely. So one thing before we move on and wrap up the show here in a few minutes, want to let you guys in on something really exciting. The new Custom Blend 2025 pack by Cigar Rebel. These are 4 different unique cigars, each in the petite size, which is a 4.5 by 40. These are coming out of our new factory that we just were able to procure last month in Gonzales, Dominican Republic. This has a Dominican binder and filler, but the 4 different cigars, you'll get 2 of each, is a Habano Vuelta Abajo, a Connecticut, and a Connecticut Broadleaf. So for $64, you get 8 cigars. Pre-orders will begin on May 19th. That can go through our website. On our Facebook page, you'll see that. Excited to announce this. What do you think, Mel? You excited about the cigars?
I'm really excited. I mean, we've been talking about this for a long time. We've been talking about the podcast for a long time. We've been talking about doing cigars to pair with the podcast, if you will.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I'm super excited for it.
So one of the really great things is that cigar in the pre-order will go live on May 19th, and we're really excited about it. We want to release a custom blend cigar at least 3 times a year. We're hoping quarterly. We'll see how often we can get to the DR to get these things blended. And so that's going to be the real question there for us. Again, if you're watching, go ahead and drop your name in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe or go over to Facebook or Instagram to follow us. You can always join the Cigar Rebel community on Facebook. It's a group where you can post your pictures and share your insights. We've been having a lot of content on there, people introducing themselves. We love that. Can't wait to get to know each of you a little bit better. Thank you guys so much.
Yep, that's our show for today. So hopefully we'll hear it back after you try our little experiment with some positive. I mean, I'm interested to know if it's negative for anybody. I'd love to know that too. But thanks for tuning in today and having a cigar and talking about unplugging.
Yeah, don't forget to click that subscribe button, and we'll see all you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
See you, Brad.